So, you want to be an Orochi. I understand how you feel. After all, everyone and their dog plays Orochi. Why not join in on the fun? And it is fun. Holy shit, it's fun. But just like any other character, there's a learning curve for you to ride. So tighten up that seatbelt because this is one hell of a ride. If you look at the description that the game gives you for Orochi, you will see that it says counterattacker. This is essentially all you need to know. Thanks for watching. But really, this is the perfect description of what a decent Orochi can and should do, especially when you're playing against one of those fuckers who just waits to parry your attacks. Oh wait, that's kinda what you're doing. There are 3 methods of counterattack with Orochi and assassin characters in general. The first and easiest is the dodge into light attack spin move of fucking death. It's fairly easy to dodge attacks assuming they aren't spamming their area attack, but the spin move doesn't always land. In my experience, this is best done when your opponent is using a heavy attack or when you haven't learned the other 2 methods yet. The second method of counterattack is the deflect. I actually mostly avoided this move when I was first learning Orochi, and while I did get by okay, I really regret not utilizing it more. Performing a deflect is done by dodging into your opponent's attack as it flashes red the moment before it hits. Side note, your guard doesn't have to match your opponent's when you do this. If you light attack immediately following a deflect, you do an unblockable stab. Not only does this look fucking badass, but it also does a decent amount of damage for a free hit. You can also perform an unblockable heavy attack following a deflect, which does a substantial amount of damage, but it's easily dodged or even just hit through. If you want to get really tricky, you can press guard break during this heavy attack as your opponent is dodging away, but I have found that more often than not, they just smack me like the bitch I am. The third counter attack is the parry, which every hero can perform. If you for some reason don't know how to do this, match your guard with your opponent's attack and press heavy attack the moment before their hit lands, as the indicator flashes bright red. A successful parry leaves your opponent fully exposed to your most effective attack, the overhead light double attack of fucking destiny. This attack is done by pressing light attack twice rapidly in your overhead guard. If you land the first hit, the second is guaranteed, which is what makes this so effective. With these 3 methods mastered, your opponent will not so easily strike you down. But how can you go on the offensive? The Orochi is a counter-attacker, but also a harasser. I will teach you how to harass. My favorite attack with the Orochi is his overhead heat-seeking face fucker. This can be done by dashing forward and immediately performing an overhead light attack. I say heat-seeking because it's undodgeable, which makes it super effective against peacekeepers or other assassins. Another thing you can do is guard break. In fact, guard breaking is a great way to follow the overhead. If your opponent isn't very good, this shit works wonders. Throw in a light, maybe a fake, and guard break, bitch. However, in higher level play, guard breaks are easily stopped unless you get really good at mixing it up. So another way to attack, and perhaps the most annoying and bitched about Orochi move, is the area attack. I would say I land this about 80% of the time against average players, as long as I don't use it too often. Good players are obviously going to be smarter about it, but it's rarely a bad idea to whip this shit out. The only disadvantage is how much stamina it consumes, but just play smart and you'll be fine. Also, I would say the best time to use this is right after a successful combo, opening a fight, or finishing a fight. Another move that you see Orochis either spam or hardly ever do is their adorable little charge attack. This can be done by dashing backwards and pressing heavy attack. You can hold it and stare at your opponent awkwardly, you can cancel it, or you can get fucking parried. I don't recommend using this unless you were planning on faking it into a guard break or quick overhead later in the fight, but even then it's not a guarantee. You're much better off doing this backstep overhead slash of fucking annihilation. This move can be done by stepping backward and pressing heavy attack at the same time. Also, make sure your guard break is in the overhead stance or it won't work. This attack is probably the biggest risk versus reward attack the Orochi has, but if you get it right, it's satisfying as fuck. However, if you get it wrong, you might as well bend over right there because you're completely exposed. Knowing when and how to use this attack effectively is to me the difference between a good Orochi and a fucking demigod. Okay, I gotta quickly interject here. They actually patched this so it dodges a lot further back and it's a lot easier to use and a lot more effective. This patch came out at the time of this video being edited, so I didn't really feel like going back and rewriting and re-editing the entire fucking video, so I'll just leave this here. So, fuck you. Alright, we have reached the end of the guide. Holy shit. I'm sure I left out some higher level tips, so feel free to share them in the comments below. But this should be a decent starter guide for anyone looking to play as Orochi, which at this point is basically 80% of the fucking community. So welcome to the club, I guess.